Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional lands of the Catawba, the Kiowa, and the Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Cosette Blackmer, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative, intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our members and visitors, we're glad that you're here in person or joining us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is truly a gift to us. We have a few announcements this morning. Reverend Amy is beginning a 4-week book study 1 week from tomorrow night on the book Active Hope. Please check the January newsletter for more and weekly announcements for more information. MEC Men's Embroidery Club will begin meeting at the University Gathering on the first Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. beginning January 8th. We are inviting anyone who would like to stay after our worship today for just a few minutes to help take down our holiday decorations. Aw. The more hands, of course, the quicker the work. And at this time, I'd like to invite Linda up to share a little bit about our shared plate recipient. Thank you.
Good morning. On this first Sunday of 2026, our social action team is excited to kick off our Q1 focus for the new year. This quarter, the focus will be threats to democracy and fair elections. And as a part of this focus, our Share the Plate recipient for January will be Common Cause North Carolina. Their outstanding reputation for bipartisan work in protecting democracy and fair elections has led us to designate them as our first of the year recipient for the last 3 years. Next Sunday, we'll have a local representative from Common Cause at both gatherings to update us on their plans for the upcoming year. Also, mark your calendars as part of our Q1 focus. On February 15th, we'll be having a social action democracy-themed service, followed by a special activity that's currently in the works. Caleb Graves from UU Justice NC will be leading the service and helping with the activity, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. For any other, or all the other, important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, check your monthly newsletters and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. We hope that you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
We light our first chalice of the year today as a community. We invite the light into our space, knowing that its warmth fills our hearts and it fills our journeys. This chalice, the symbol of our faith, is the fire that guides us throughout today and throughout each day of the year. I invite you to please join me now in singing the words to the lighting of our chalice. They are found in our bulletin. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our call to worship. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace.
Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world.
Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be.
Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity.
Out of the flames we rise. Our first hymn is on page 360 in our gray hymnal, Here We Have Gathered. Please be seated, and I invite any of our young ones to come forward for a time for all ages. We're trying to figure out the board, the mic, okay? So we're going to do this. And then I'm going to use you. Yeah, I'm going to use your name.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining me up here today. So today, we're going to tell a little story. Have you ever heard of Aesop's fables? No. We're going to introduce you to one today. We are Unitarian Universalists, and we put love in the center of our lives. And love helps us see what really matters. Not how popular we are, not if we fit in, not how cool we are, but maybe what's on the inside. And sometimes love even helps us and invites us to resist when we have pressure from outside that tells us we need to fit in. So today we're going to hear a story about Aesop's fable, and it's called The Peacock and the Crane. One who wanted to show off and fit in by showing off, and one who wanted to stay true to himself. So, a peacock puffed up with vanity met a crane one day So which one do you think is the peacock puffed up with vanity? Which one looks, see him with the glasses? And he is strutting around the barnyard, showing his feathers. And to impress the crane, he spreads out his feathers. Have you ever seen a peacock spread out his feathers? So he spreads out his feathers and spreads them out all gorgeous in the sun. Look, what you have has nothing to compare to my beautiful peacock feathers. I am dressed in all the glory of the rainbow, while your feathers are all white and dusty gray. And here he is. What? That was sad. It was sad. So here he's all spread out, showing off his beautiful little peacock feathers. And look at the crane. What does he look like? He's kind of side-eyeing a little bit, right? So to help the peacock realize how boasting makes others feel, the crane spreads his broad wings and flies up into the sky. Follow me if you can. But the peacock was among the birds of the barnyard, while the crane soared to freedom. The peacock stayed on the ground. So what I love about this story is that there's a couple of different ways to look at it. So the peacock may be feeling pressure himself. I hit the off button, I'm sorry. So the peacock might be feeling a little pressure himself to kind of be strutting around and showing off for people. And the crane might be feeling a little pressure because he may not have all the colors that the peacock has. So why do you think the peacock wanted to show off his feathers? Yeah, it's me. Why do you think the peacock wanted to show off all these feathers? To see what it feels like to show off.
And he learned why to never show off.
He learned that maybe it kind of backfired on him a little bit. Do you think the peacock maybe felt pressure to kind of show off, to be impressive so he could be admired? Have you ever felt pressure like that? To kind of fit in? Have you felt that way? Some of your friends have bullied you in the past for not being cool? So how might love help you resist feeling the need to kind of show off or maybe even bully people? How can love help you with that? What kind of love might help? So parents giving us hugs and making you feel really warm when they give you hugs and support. I think that's a really good way love helps us resist that pressure to fit in or maybe show off. What's another kind of love that might help? Do you have an idea, Ellie? You have an idea?
idea too. I think also when we come here at our church, we know that everyone loves us exactly how we are. Right, Jonah? So you are loved exactly for who you are, all three of y'all, and everyone here at this congregation. So that's something that can really help us feel good, no matter what's going on around us.
Because that's the interesting thing about fables, is sometimes you can look at them both ways. So the peacock, the crane kind of flew off, but maybe we can look at them as both very beautiful. The peacock is beautiful with all of his feathers, and the crane is just glorious with his ability to fly. So also, maybe self-love helps us resist the love we feel for ourselves. And that's actually some of what we're going to be talking about today back in the back with Ari. Do you want to join us back there today? All right. Thank you, Dr. Amy.
Thank you. For those of you who have been around more than just a few months, you might recall that the first January of each year, the first Sunday of January, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all, my voice is still not great from that cold I had, so y'all bear with me. But anyway, the first January service that we have each year, we observe fire communion. During this time, we will burn away things from the previous year, and we set our blessings and our intentions for this upcoming year. Now, all of you know we have this wonderful prayer stand with all of our prayer cards, and those are cards that all of you have filled out throughout this year. There have been challenges, difficulties that you've listed. There have been good remembrances, prayers for other people, for our country, for ourselves. And we're going to take all of those prayer cards, and we will, Cassette will light the first one. We've got a system set up to where we're going to do this outside and be nice and safe. So immediately behind me, you see Cassette has the cauldron set up here. And I will invite you in just a fefew moments to come forward, and you can take a couple cards off the prayer stand, or we have a lot, so probably plenty for people to take a couple. Casette's going to light the first few ones. But I'll invite you to come forward to take one of those cards, or two or three of those cards, and then Cassette will help you light those in the cauldron outside. And then after that, you can come back in through this door over here near the piano. Now, as we see all of these joys and concerns and moments which filled our hearts during this past year, as we see them burn away, let us give thanks for how Spirit was with us during these days and how Spirit remains with us during this time. Let us give thanks for the movement of time, for new beginnings, as we see the smoke from the fire arise. May we release with the ashes from our prayer cards. Release all these prayers to the universe. May we be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is the key to freedom from pain. Now at this time, we are beginning anew, allowing space in our hearts and lives for all things new, knowing that whatever comes, love, grace, community will be with us and help guide us. Now, Cassette holds our new prayer cards, and we offer this blessing for them. This new year is yet unwritten. We ourselves will fill these cards with what touches our hearts. Let these cards be used for sacred purposes, blessing all who touch them, and blessing those whose challenging and joyful moments will be contained on these spaces. May it be so. And I'd like to offer a reminder that I come through on a regular basis in the time here in the sanctuary where it's empty, and I read through the prayer cards and hold those things in the light for each person who fills those out. And so at this time, we enter into our time for ritual and sacred sharing, as we do each Sunday, a time for sharing joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones. We have several prayer concerns I'd like to share with you at this time, and we will light a candle for each one of these individuals. Sandra W., who of course has been with our church from the beginning. Sandra was hospitalized over the holidays with the flu, and it's been a difficult time. She, a couple days ago, has moved to Lakeside Rehab Center in Huntersville. Her daughter, Sarah, who I know many of you know from Maryland, has been down since Christmas, and they're exploring options for once Sandra is through with the rehab center. Ricky, who, one of our newer members, a young adult, joined a few weeks ago, was hospitalized with blood clots in her lungs, which of course is quite serious, especially when so young as she is. We communicated yesterday. She's been home for a couple days and is definitely feeling better, and the doctors are working with her on trying to get back to full recovery. And her husband and she said other close friends have been very supportive, and she appreciates our prayers. Rachel M., with our Salisbury gathering, had ankle surgery for a pretty severe break not long before Christmas, and will be out of work for about 12 weeks. Rachel's a teacher, so she's still not weight-bearing at all, and is trying to help manage that pain, so we want to continue to remember her. Susan Ellerman was dealing with a hip injury. Susan, we're glad to see you today, hoping that's improving. And lastly, I know many of you know Bob and Linda from our Salisbury gathering, who've been around a very long time, and Bob has spoken the church, leading worship various times over the years. He has been dealing with Parkinson's for a couple years now, which many of you know. And they've been living at Trinity Oaks, an independent living, for maybe a year and a half now. But last Monday, Bob was moved to the memory care unit at Trinity Oaks. And this has been a pretty significant change for Bob and for Linda, too. So we ask for your continued prayers and support for them. I was able to speak to Bob on the phone yesterday. Any of you who know him, he's a wonderful sense of humor. Linda was holding the cell phone up, and she said, "Say hello, Bob," and I didn't hear him, and she said, "Say hello louder," and he said, "Hello louder," and I heard that clear as day. So, but during these significant changes for them, we want to continue to remember them. Now, we light also candles for other larger concerns we have, for all who are continuing to be impacted by ICE raids and activity, for the immediate relief of the people of Gaza, for all areas of violence around the world, including the ongoing war in Ukraine. And we light a candle for peace, and that calmer and clearer heads will prevail, and that our country will not choose war at this time. And we light a candle for our country that we might continue to do everything we can to work towards creating a society which is filled with love, compassion, civil rights, and justice for every single person. Now, at this time, you are invited to come forward as you feel called to do so. We have our brand new prayer cards. You are invited to write a joy or concern on those and hang them on the prayer stand, to light your own candle of joy or concern, or to place a stone in our shared water. we now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. I invite us now to a time for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have a period of silence. And during this time, I invite you to settle more fully into your seat, to deepen your breath, and to invite into your being this morning what it is you most deeply need for these coming days and months. After a period of silence, we will then all join together for a musical meditation.
Our wisdom reading this morning is titled Smoldering Dawn by Amanda Gorman. All of our angels have gone. This smoldering dawn, we soldier on. We've proved ourselves strong, not from how badly we've burned, but how bravely we bond. Apocalypse does not mean ruin, but revelation. In devastation, this infernus has injured us, but it cannot endure us. Even in the surreal, we do not surrender. We emerge from the embers. The hardest part is not disaster, but after. Scorched earth is where the heart hurts. What we restore first, where we start the work. Today we mourn, tomorrow reborn. We end the burning, befriend the hurting, mend those who face the flame. We reclaim our city's name, a revelation that only this place tells. To find our angels, all we need do is look within ourselves.
Today's wisdom reading is from 27-year-old poet and activist Amanda Gorman. Now, some of you might recognize her name. She was the first person to be named National Youth Poet Laureate, and she rose to national prominence when she wrote and performed a poem for Joe Biden's inauguration as president. Remember this very petite, young black woman who so beautifully inspired us, talking about the hills that we climb. Now, among her many accolades, and she has so many, especially to be so young, she also became the first poet to perform ever at the Super Bowl, which I think is a pretty cool thing to do. Amanda is wise beyond her years and a beacon of hope and inspiration for so many. Now, today's poem, Smoldering Dawn, she wrote almost a little over a year ago, not quite a year ago. It was in the aftermath of the devastating Los Angeles fires. Some of you might recall that those happened almost a year ago. We've got the 1-year anniversary coming up this week of these just terrible, devastating fires. Now, Gorman is an LA native, and this poem was a tribute to the resilience of the millions of people who were impacted by these fires, as well as a call of hope for the future. Now, Los Angeles literally means city of angels, and Gorman reminds us that we all have angels within us. We all have angels within us, like that inner divine light that we talk about. And that gives us the strength to resist the devastation of ashes and destruction. And it empowers us to rise again. Now, I know that there are so many of us who want to leave the year 2025 in the ashes. It's been a tough year for so many people on various levels. The prayer cards that we burned had words on them which represented pain and challenges for many, whether our own personal concerns or those of people we love, or perhaps what is taking place in our country. From the ashes of the prayer cards, hope arises. From the ashes of the prayer cards, hope arises. Our inner divine light, which we talk about, is fueled by those ashes. And the angels give us strength to rise from the ashes. Those angels give us strength to continue to resist forces of evil and injustice in this world, and to bring forth a better world of welcome, inclusion, hope, and love. Now, one thing we might not realize about ashes is that the spark remains even long after it looks like it's only ashes to us. Now, my dad learned this lesson the hard way a number of years ago. He had taken out some ashes from our fireplace, which were several days old. So he thought they were completely dead. He left them there in the carport, just a small container in this carport that he had built, which is surrounded by tall, beautiful pine trees. And, it was the firefighters who were there a little while later who let him know that ashes could live, even tiny sparks when it looked like they were dead, for several days afterwards. So we were all just fine. Dad was not happy with himself for a very long time about that. So even after we can't see the spark, when we don't know the hope is there, even long after, the spark still remains. and hope is still there. Now, the ashes that we have in the cauldron just behind me, they don't signify that we've just given up or that we're just going to try to forget and move on from whatever's going on. Ashes don't mean that we are just rolling over and just succumbing to whatever is happening or just going to try to keep our heads down. These ashes are fuel for the inner divine light, that fire which burns within us. These ashes fuel the resistance. Now, if you read the newsletter, which came out a couple days ago, you'll know that our theme for this month is practicing resistance. So when we see the pile of ashes before us, it might feel like an overwhelming proposition, just as Gorman talked about in looking at the just unbelievable mass destruction and ashes in LA before her. When we see ashes in front of us, it might seem like the scale of evil is far too great, or we might feel tired or despondent. We might struggle to wonder if our small acts of resistance really matter at all. Now, during these moments when despondent thoughts are at the forefront of my mind, I often remember the first lines from a favorite camp song I sang back in the 80s, and some of you may have sung as well. It's called Pass It On, Pass It On. And the first couple lines went, "It only takes a spark to get a fire going, and soon all those around can warm up in its glowing." That's so true about resistance. It only takes a spark. That inner divine spark that we all carry within us. The spark of the flame of our chalice, which is lit every time we gather. The spark of seeing just one person who is on the fringes of our society being welcomed and included. The spark of making just one more phone call to an elected official, because that might be the one phone call that pushes them over the edge to action. The spark of being just one person standing in a crowd of protesters. The spark of sending a text or a card to someone who desperately needs a supportive word. The spark that fuels the ember of love until it grows and joins other sparks and it warms everyone around. The flame of practicing resistance may feel like a huge undertaking, but it's really just as simple as burning a prayer card and releasing those prayers to the universe. And from those ashes, our inner angels will arise. Here again, these few words from Gorman's poem. Today we mourn, tomorrow reborn. We end the burning, befriend the hurting, mend those who face the flame. We reclaim our city's name, a revelation that only this place tells. To find our angels, all we need to do is look within ourselves. The inner divine flame, the divine flame of the universe, will continue to guide us as we practice resistance and as we share love with the world. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
And now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place that is so sacred to many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for now we are the keepers of the dream. This month we are sharing our offering plate with Common Cause North Carolina. Common Cause North Carolina is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. We work to create open, honest, and accountable government that serves the public interest, promote equal rights, opportunity, and representation for all. Empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. In a moment, our host will pass around the offering baskets, and we ask that you pass these baskets down the rows as you receive them. You may place your gifts in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
As always, we give thanks for your generous gifts, gifts which continue us to enable to fan the flame of love and justice in our world. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn. It's found in your teal hymnal, number 1028, Fire of Commitment.
Thank you.
Now, before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who help make our service happen each Sunday. I also ask if you are able to take a few moments after the service to take your hymnals over to the cart near the piano. That's a big help. And also, if you have just a few extra minutes to stay and help get down some of our holiday decorations, that will be a huge help. So, now let's do as we do each Sunday and take a few moments to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for the things for which we are thankful today.
I'm thankful for telescopes.
For telescopes, oh yeah.
So I got to see Jupiter and the moon last night.
Oh, Jupiter and moon. I only saw the moon last night. It's gorgeous. Yeah. For healing. Yes.
New beginnings.
New beginnings.
A roof over my head.
A roof over our heads. Yes, absolutely.
I'm grateful for the hope that we have that this new year can bring some real changes.
Yeah. Hope that we have that the new year can bring some real changes. Community. We give thanks for all these things and also so much more which we hold in our hearts this morning. Let us now go forth, letting the flame of resistance burn brightly. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light and its warmth and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. Now for our closing song, we always form a circle. You may hold hands if you would like to, or you may simply place your hands on your heart.